Okay, this video that we're going to put together is showing the operational side, the QC side, the driver's side of doing DOT, Department of Transportation, barrier machine.
My name is Tom McGaha. I'm a batch manager in Jefferson. Um, Working on the barrier wall for Blount Sanford. We've been working on this now for a little over a year, doing pretty big numbers every day. Typically on any given day, I communicate with the customer, first of all, the man on the machine, several times during the course of the pour. We get our numbers dialed in based on what my first couple of trucks, how they load, and my drivers know where they want to leave and what they need to be on when they get there. So I base my water normally to start out around 105 gallons. That's withholding a -4 and then backing it down to that and seeing what they put in at the standpipe. And then from there, they know they're going about 20 minutes to the job. They tell me what they put in at the standpipe. We keep up with what the loading goes supposed to be putting in and what they use at the job. So by about the third truck, we normally have it pretty well dialed in unless material gets wet or other circumstances change it. But then I also communicate with the customer as far as what he's seeing through the load. So we get good numbers out of it. And so far it's worked out real well.
How many yards per hour do you typically do? How fast are you loading the truck?
I can load on some days, depending on what portion they're doing, we can actually I'll turn 5 or 6 trucks on it, and we can usually do 45, 54 yards an hour. If they're doing the footer part, because it pours around a 2-inch slump, they'll pour it out like a pump job. I have a harder time getting the trucks back off the job than we do getting them poured out. Pouring on a 1-inch slump, like yesterday in particular, we were pouring a 1-inch slump. We started at 8, and by 12:30 we had loaded 115 yards. So it varies every day, and it changes every day. The mix is very finicky as to what it does with water. But if you get good communication through it and talk to your people and see what's going on load to load, even as it keeps changing, sometimes I have to change the water every load, but we keep it dialed in and keep them happy. And communication with the person on the machine is very important, so you know what's coming out on the other end.
Thank you,
Tom.
Okay.
My name's Eric. They call me Eddie here at Jefferson. Um, I've been working here for about 2 years, and in Jefferson, I learned how to do a lot of DOT jobs when, right when I started, right when I got released, and we've been doing almost 200 yards a day, doing the barrier wall on 85, and it's thankfully no one's gotten hurt in the situations that we've been in, and um, yeah, it's an easy job to pour out, but you gotta be very aware. We gotta be on your toes, most importantly.
How do you get loaded?
How do I get loaded? So go under the plant, spin your drum up, fill up a water tank, and then after I done get loaded from the plant, back I go through the load and go. At the standpipe, I reset my drum. I slump, rev it up to about 1800 RPMs. That's mixing speed. Some people rev it up all the way, but I do it by what it says in the drum too. It told you the revs, and mix it up. Go get my ticket, come back, turn off the drum, see what I got in my slump gauge. I listen to it too as I'm waiting, and there's times where they want a 1-inch slump over there, and the 1-inch slump's about like 27-ish, 28, and basically when you're listening to it, sometimes the slump gauge could be misleading, but I put my ear next to the drum, I listen to it, and if I can hear the actual rocks, like the actual rocks in the mix, I just add like a couple, like 10 gallons, 5 gallons sometimes. Rev it up for 30 revolutions, and then check the drum, check what I'm sitting at again. And then I don't put my tag axles down because this is going down I85. Even though it's a full load, I don't have my tag axles down. And read my ticket before I leave the plant. Make sure the...
When do you set your counter, DOT counter? Say that.
Oh, when I set my DOT counter, I do it right before I leave the plant.
Leaving the plant.
Leaving the plant. And have your drum spinning slow, you know. Yeah.
Anything else?
Just what you gotta do, depending on the job site, the signs, they got signs marked in the middle of the barrier wall. And you can look at you gotta look at your ticket, obviously. And for example, today we're gonna be in sign number 5. And so that's, as soon as you get off the ramp on Jefferson, you're gonna wanna be in the left lane and have your hazards on, strobe light. And as you approach number 5 sign, you know, look both ways, obviously. And start slowing down gently. There's gonna be a lot of cones. There's gonna be an opening between the cones. Pull in there. What I do is, I have my flashers on, but as soon as I'm about to pull in the lane, the median, they got on fresh asphalt, brand paved out, and I just pull in there, have my turning signal so people know I'm, yeah.
Oh, the truck is now underneath the plant, getting loaded. He reversed his drum, made sure there's no water in it first, pulled up underneath the plant to get loaded. Now you can see he's in a full charge, so it's easier to load the mix. We're at a nice angle, so it kind of goes back into the truck. Once he's loaded, he'll come over here and go through our little truck wash. It puts about 6 gallons of water in the drum, so we calculate that also when we're loading. It makes it a whole lot faster to get them off the yard by just driving through this wash and go. Now, you're supposed to reset your counter once you pull out from underneath the plant. You're supposed to drive up here, do 70 revolutions of mixing, and drive out the gate. You need at least 70 revolutions of mixing. That is part of the 300 count on your truck counter. So you do need the 70 revolutions for mixing and driving to the job site. So a max of 300 to be accepted by DOT. A light little rain shower, very light drizzle today. I hope it don't affect the camera too much. And we have a water pipe here. If we need to add a little to slump it, because it is a dry batch plant, dry batch. There you go, 70 revolutions of mixing. You want to wash off any sand or rocks that's caught up on the front of your truck from loading. You don't need them to come loose driving down the road. Again, breaking windshields is never a nice thing to do. He's going to walk over there to get his ticket. We now have an automated ticket dispenser like the bank, you know, like you get at the bank. Little tube shoots it down there from the office. Mike's up there on the porch, making sure he's got his ticket loaded good. As he said, he wants about 1-inch slump is what we're wanting to leave on, probably 2,700 on his slump gauge meter. There is a slump gauge meter in these trucks. Let's see if we can show this.
My truck's a little dirty.
Yeah, where's slump gauge is?
It's 27, 28. It's gonna go up.
27, 28 right now on the slump gauge meter. As you can see, we're gonna mix a little more, maybe add a gallon. Well, barrier wall, what is it? The barrier wall is what's on the freeway, and years ago it only went to this height here, and then they've added this other section on top of the barrier wall to help with oncoming traffic lights in your face as you're coming the other direction. So barrier walls are taller and higher. This is I85. You can see we're adding another lane on I85. I'm going to walk down here. The truck got here on about 2,700 on his meter, which is about 1-inch slump. Blount Sanford's been out here doing this entire barrier wall. It's probably started down near the Buford Mall, all the way up, maybe going to South Carolina. It's a pretty long job. We've been pouring an awful lot of it. Until they're getting ready, getting their machines set up. They have an extra machine in case this one breaks down. And we're going to pour the cap on top of this wall today. So, very nice.
Well, we're out here with Blount Sanford barrier wall. We started this project, I would say, about a year ago. It's progressing really well. Mud looks real nice. We're waiting on the tester, but we are, I would say, 2-3 months. It should be done. Going all the way to Commerce from Jefferson. Again, the mud is looking real well. Looking about a 1-inch slump is what we need to make sure that it doesn't collapse, but everything's looking well. Project's moving along well, so everything's good.
Very noisy on the freeway here with the truck, with the machine running. You can see how dry the concrete's coming down. They have a gentleman from Blount Sanford on top of our truck just to make sure it does come down. He may hit it with a little bit of water just to ensure that it's moving. You can see where we're at. Again, 1-inch slump, 2,700 on that meter is pretty much where you're at. They will test the first truck. Problem is the testing company got here late. He's driving up now, so we're a little ahead of him. But we do put a technician on these jobs as much as we can because we want to control slump and air, make sure that we have no problems. You now can see the back of the curb machine and the truck. You can see what's being poured out on top of the barrier wall, the top section. Nice, creamy, smooth, not too much work involved. The key is that it doesn't fall over, lean, slope. Just a nice dry mix, creamy, so it is easy to place. Doing a nice job. Again, it is a very slow, tedious job. It does take time to do it right. You can see how dry it is coming down into the top chute up there. They have several vibrators, 2 or 3 vibrators down in the machine to help vibrate it as it goes into the wall. Well, we got the first truck poured out. I'll swing the camera around where you can see what we've done. One truckload has carried it that far. The crew comes in here, cuts control joints in the top of the wall. They also broom it, clean it up nicely. The testing company has showed up here to test the second truck to make sure slumping air is good. Maybe they make cylinders, I'm not sure about that. But the guys are doing a nice job going down here, cleaning this up. Still a lot of work to be done, as you can see. Our truck is finished. He's going to pull off and go down to a washout area. There you go. Washout areas down out of the way. The biggest thing about the washout area is you wash your mud back into your truck, not into the pit. You carry that back. You wash your blades, things off, back into the truck, because a lot of washout areas cannot handle all your waste. So you take it back to the plant, reverse your drum on the yard, clean out your truck, and get loaded again.
Hello, the concrete is pretty good. It's coming fast, pretty nice, doing a good job. Everything's coming out real nice. And what else? The concrete is great. I don't know. Everything's good. The concrete is good. Everything's good. Good job. Everything's coming out real nice. Yeah.
Thank you. All right, that's the operator of the curb machine or barrier machine. Again, very happy with what we've been doing. Our second truck is way up there, work his way down so we can test him, make sure he's good, and start again. All right, thank you. Well, the truck is poured out. He's down there washing out down by the bridge. Some key factors to think about when you're doing barrier machine. At the plant, you want to make sure how many yards per hour, how fast they're going to pour, the job, how far the job is away from your plant. Get the drivers to reverse their drum before loading to make sure there's no water inside the drum. Get loaded. Once you pull out from underneath the plant, set your counter on your truck, pull up, go through your wash and go, pull up from there, do 70 revolutions of mixing. Let it mix, 70 revolutions. That's about, I want to say, maybe 2.5, 3 minutes. Check your slump. Adjust your slump to 2700 on your meter. That's 1 inch slump. 2700 on the slump gauge. drive to the job, be safe, be careful. There's no race or rush to get here or get to the job. Once you're on the job, check your slump. Make sure you're still around 2,700, that 1-inch slump. They should test the first truck, testing company, for slump in air. Then pull up to the barrier machine and slowly pour out. You got to turn that drum very, very slowly so the mud can catch the blades to come up. If you turn it fast, it just doesn't work as well. So don't be in a rush. Take your time. We can do front discharge trucks on this. They don't have to be rears. And they've done a great job up here in Jefferson. They really have. And thank the plant, the people, the drivers. It has gone very, very well. Thank you.